All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Ryan and Brian Talk Sports plus Nick Larson minus Brian versus the books. Always my favorite thing to do, just to sign us on when we're down one person. At some point, we're going to get really serious about this and change the name to something like an actual respectable name. But we're going to just kind of have fun with what we got going on so far. We got NBA tomorrow, which is pretty exciting, which is where we'll lead off, and then we have a pretty beautiful MLB slate. And of course, joined by my man Nick Larson. Nick, how we doing?
Not too bad. RBI brothers in pain. We're back though.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah, definitely back, dude. I had to take the weekend off of RBIs just to kind of get a little mojo back. If you bet RBIs, you might have a good understanding. Yes, they can make you a lot of money, but yes, they are very, very frustrating to deal with. So I had to take a little break from RBIs and just kind of get into some first five parlays and some pitcher props, and that's mostly what I'm leaning on today. But I do have one RBI, or I guess two RBI looks, and then Nick, you have some RBI looks as well. Can't beat it.
I'll hopefully have some if we get some lineups during the show, but we'll see. We'll see timing wise how it goes.
Yeah, fair enough. You have an NBA play. I have an NBA play. I suppose that's a great place to start. I'm actually going to pass it to you. I really, really like the look that you have. So why don't you start us off?
Yeah, I think we're both actually in the same year's Lakers game too, right?
Yeah.
So I took LeBron James first quarter assist ladder, and that is on DraftKings. It is offered now on a couple other books, the bases, but I have not seen the alts for that. So you can
Does that include FanDuel?
I don't think FanDuel has it, but I think maybe Fanatics and maybe Hard Rock have it.
Gotcha.
But I have not seen the alts anywhere else. So I did ladder. I started with over 2.5 plus 130, 4 plus assists plus 310, and 5 plus assists plus 800. I like these anytime you're in like that plus 125 plus 140 for the base. He's had 5 and 8 in his last two games against the Pelicans. He kind of destroys them in the first quarter as far as getting other players involved and then taking over offensive. He's one of those guys that kind of just, he can let the game come to him and just kind of feel it out. So he's not like Brunson and Embiid and those guys who come out 15 points in the first quarter. So really been doing a good job distributing in the first quarter. So I really like that play against the Pelicans, who they've owned recently here.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I watched pretty much all of that game. I had D'Angelo Russell PA in that game, which ended up being crazy sweaty, but I was definitely taking note. I mean, LeBron was like full-time point guard that game. Like, they do a pretty good job splitting between Russell, Reeves, and LeBron. But, like, I hardly remember any second half possessions where LeBron didn't dribble the ball up. I mean, it had to have been 75, 80%. So it worked. 17 assists, 24 potential assists, and then they kicked their ass. So hard to imagine that they go away from that. I have a play kind of that loosely ties into that as well. I am going to run back D'Angelo Russell, but I'm going to remove the assist due to what I saw in that game. I'm just going to go points here. I took it at minus 120. I think there's minus 115s floating around on some books that have me limited. But I really like this spot for D'Angelo Russell. I kind of invented my own narrative here, and I'm just going to stick with it and just kind of – I'm going to swear by it. Yeah, exactly. So my made-up narrative is like we watched D'Angelo Russell struggle really bad last postseason. First round, he was okay. I think they played 2 rounds. Nonetheless, the rounds prior to Denver, he was okay. And then the Denver series, he was bad. Like 6 points, 20-something% shooting, like very bad. And then the entire offseason, he had to listen to how trash he was. The entire first 50 games of the season, he had to listen to all these trade packages and everything that was swirling around his name. And I think he stepped up. I mean, obviously, those games don't matter quite as much, but I think he had a terrific season, averaged 18. And I really like this spot specifically. He's kind of relegated into a catch and shoot shooter when LeBron's playing point guard this heavy, and which is perfectly fine with me. He hit 5 threes in that game yesterday, and I think he can have 5 threes again pretty easily here. They bleed catch and shoot threes, and hopefully he just kind of chills in the corner, takes his 10 to 12 3-pointer attempts and makes it happen. So, and another big thing is he should be locked into massive minutes. He played 38 last game, which is kind of crazy. Last 30 games of the season, when his role really solidified, he averaged 35.5 minutes over that stretch. So if we just filter out games with 35 plus minutes, he's over this line 70%. He averaged 22 points. if we get a little bit more specific, and we should, if you add in LeBron and Anthony Davis being active and 35 plus minutes, the percentage actually goes up. He hit in 74% of games. His average was a little bit down, but he was a little bit more consistent. So, like I said, brilliant catch and shoot player in a matchup that bleeds catch and shoot threes. So I really like this spot. Hopefully he can sneak in a couple layups here and there, but just more importantly, at least to my own self-made up narrative, I really think he has a big chip on his shoulder and is going to want to silence a lot of the people that critiqued him after what he did in that Denver series last year. So gets a redemption shot in a somewhat of a postseason game. I guess we can definitely declare this postseason game. So let's see if he does indeed have the ice in his veins that he claims he does.
I think it was Bill Simmons I was listening to today during work, but they were talking kind of about being on LeBron's team and being one of those guys who's like, you don't know if you're being traded, are you going to be traded for the whole year, and then finally you make it to like that point where it's like, oh my goodness, I'm safe and you can actually play basketball again. So he's like definite candidate for that, and he's really turned it on lately. So I like that play.
Hell yeah, man. That is all I have. I bitched out a little bit yesterday. Trae Young assist open at 10-5 plus 114. I really like the spot. I think I kind of just ended up falling asleep instead. This is my flu game. I'm a little sick, so I passed out instead of locking it in, and then I lost 19 cents of value. So now I'm just kind of holding off because I'm mad at myself for not locking it in yesterday. But that is a lean that I have. Before we,
I was looking at his
MLB.
first quarter one too.
Is there any value in it?
No, I mean not really. You'd have to pair it, but like you said, it's just the value's not good enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Was there any other leans that you wanted to hit on?
Sabonis assists have a ton of value, but maybe I was talking with some other people. Maybe you have a look at this as well. But does he come out even passing, or does he have to come out and score? Because there's some games he'll come out and put up 15 points in the first quarter, and some games where he kind of defers. I don't know if this is a game where he has to score right away. So it was like plus 700 for 5, which is good value for him.
Yeah, that's very, very tempting right there. I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but I kind of lean towards come out and pass. I mean, that's been their offense at their best this year. Is those
Right.
dribble handoffs is kind of like those crazy Kings assists that he always ends up getting. I mean, he can obviously make some nice passes too, but some of these are just kind of simple. Like, here you go, Fox, run fast and go hit a layup. I don't see any reason why they don't come out and run the offense that's worked so well for them. So I think we should be pass in here.
Yeah, I might look at that one then.
Yeah, I think that's a nice spot for sure. That is the lone play that I have for NBA. That is Nick Larson's lone play for NBA. So we're going to pretty quickly walk over to MLB, which I have a pretty decent amount of plays. I know Nick does as well. We had to come ready to fire because we don't have Brian, and Brian only has like 1 or 2 plays, but Brian can talk about one play for 45 minutes. So we had to come locked and loaded for you guys. So we made sure we had close to an hour's worth of content. But yeah, I'm pretty loaded on MLB plays. I know Nick is as well. So Nick, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, my first play I took this morning, and then the odds I think got a little better. I haven't looked at them recently though. Is Kyle Harrison of the Giants. I took his strikeout ladder started at 6. It's bounced it's been plus money the whole time. I'm not sure what it is right now, but I took 6 at plus 116, 7 at plus 240, 8 at plus 500. I know 8 was plus 600 a little bit ago. I also don't mind if you want to do lower the Ks and do a PPD ladder, you could get 4 in the win plus money. I looked at that originally when Puck was starting because he has been absolutely miserable, but they have Cabrera going now, his first start this year. Cabrera's one of those guys, he could strike out 12 or he could have 6 walks.
Definitely could.
Or maybe both. He might even pull both of those. So PPD a little more risky with Cabrera, but I still don't mind it. But Harrison I really like him as a pitcher. I think he's going to be really good in the years to come. And the Marlins are terrible against lefties. They're hitting 179 this year as a team against left-handed pitching. So really like this spot for him. He's coming off a game against the Nationals, who are not a strikeout team by any means, and he had 8 strikeouts in that game.
Yeah. I mean, when he came up, like, I feel like there was so much hype surrounding him, and it was just quiet on all fronts pretty much most of the offseason. he was like really low in my draft rankings of fantasy baseball, and was kind of wondering what I was missing here. And then I saw him last game. I watched a good bit of his 8 strikeout performance, and I mean, this guy's K stuff. Mostly we can only rely on his minor league stats, but this dude
Yeah,
was
he was nuts in the
unbelievable with
minor
strikeout.
leagues.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
this guy was tearing them up. So like, the Marlins aren't like the best K spot, but I mean, they have plenty of targets. Now losing Jake Berger, he's really the only guy that's hit lefties in this entire lineup. So,
Right.
yeah, I've been looking at this one all day. I thought about running a dual ladder between the two of them. I think we can. I can
What could
kind
you
of.
start that at?
Well, you could do 5-5 for plus odds, so that's a good start. I'm going to
Yeah,
kind of blow the first leg of our parlay that I already kind of assumed that we can go Kyle Harrison. 5 strikeouts would probably be a nice place to start.
right.
But I did not actually take any action on Harrison at this time. I'm glad you did, but I am going to take his counterpart and take Edward Cabrera. I'm going to make the leap, and I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on and just say at some point in time, this guy is going to figure out how to not walk 17% of batters that he faces, and he's going to become such an elite K guy. And you can already make the case that I'm not sure elite's the right word, but I mean, 71st percentile in chase, 83rd percentile in whiff, 77th percentile in K rate last year. So if he's near the zone, he could tear this lineup apart. I'm obviously a really big fan of his talent, as I lost God knows how much money on him last year, watching him walk 5 guys in 1 2/3. But walks weren't really didn't really seem fixed in the minors in his rehab assignment, but the K stuff was definitely there. He got 5 2/3 innings as well as 82 pitches, I think, in his last rehab start. So I think we should see pretty much a normal workload here. And there's one split that I can't ignore because of how long it dates back to. Like, this dates back to the beginning of last year, where the Giants at home, they don't strike out, but when you take them on the road, they can't stop striking out. It's the weirdest thing. Last year they averaged 8.15 Ks at home. They averaged 10.27, so over 2 more strikeouts a game on the road than at home for a 162 game sample size. This year is probably even funnier. It's 9.1 strikeouts a game on the road and 5.83 at home. So like, I know this feels kind of meaningless, but we're talking 180 game sample size. I guess like a 90-90 essentially game sample size, and I just can't ignore it. I know I've always kind of looked out when I first do my first run through the day. I always kind of peek at, like, is San Fran playing on the road today, or are they at home? Then I just rule out if they're at home, and then I start digging into the opposing pitcher when they're away. So obviously we get that here. This game is in Miami, so there was a lot of value on this a little earlier. It was plus 140 on ESPN. Pickett is not really updated right now. I mean, he should be plus odds pretty much everywhere you look, around plus 115. So we didn't lose too much value. We still got pretty heavy plus odds on a guy that should have a pretty normal workload. Obviously, the K stuff's there, so we just need him to find the zone. So we'll also probably know at the end of the first inning whether or not this is hitting. So maybe you can just go ahead and eat your dinner after he has 4 walks in the first inning. So we'll see. But yeah, a big fan of Edward Cabrera. I know Krusty K's locked him in. He was a smarter man than I. Locked him in early at 4.5 at minus 140. I went ahead and took the plus odds. But I think I said enough about that. I'll go ahead and pass it over to you.
Fun Edward Cabrera stat or note here. My first ever full ladder cash was 2021, his MLB debut. So
nice,
fun stat there.
Hell yeah! Do you remember how
but
many?
I did see that. I think it was like 9 or 10, something like
Hell
that.
Yeah.
8, 9, 10, something there. I did see though that he's supposed to go 6 innings, 90, 95 pitches. So it should, like you said, it shouldn't be a worry as far as that.
I'm hoping so.
All right. My next play here is going to be first strikeout parlay. You can round robin by 2. So this is on DraftKings. It's under the pitcher props and then the head-to-head tab. So 3 guys here to record the first strikeout of the game. It's obviously the away pitcher, as they have the better odds or worse odds, however you want to look at it. So I took Louis Varland, who's going against Cole Irvin.
I love that one.
Yeah, that's plus 300, which I thought was a pretty good number there, especially when you got Gunnar leading off, who's a huge K guy right off the bat. Then Michael Lorenzen going against Reese Olson. And then Martin Perez against Hauser. Hauser only has 4 strikeouts on the entire season, so he's more of a ground ball guy. So try to escape. This is another one, though, that can get frustrating when that first guy doesn't get a strikeout. Your guy comes in and gets 3 ground outs, and you're like, you got to be kidding me. We're off to the second inning in this mess.
Yep.
So just three spots I'm trying to target there. Like I said, I'm playing 1 unit total when you combine the round robins and the full parlay. So nothing crazy on it.
Yep. Gotcha. Yeah, I definitely like the Varlin one a lot. And then I mean, those are a lot of fun. But like you said, when you actually get your chance in the bottom of the first, and then they don't come through,
bad.
that is unbelievable.
That's all you're hoping is like just get me to the bottom of the inning, and then you just assume that guy will get a K, but sometimes not.
Yeah, for sure. I am going to go with my next play. Let's see which one. I'll go with Zach Eflin. He hasn't been terrific this year, but I'm going to go ahead and back him for outs today. He had a 17.5 outline. Still should pretty much everywhere. It was minus 120 earlier. Per usual, I'm shopping this as I begin talking about it instead of shopping it while Nick's talking. So I'll try to find you the best odds, but I really like this one. I mean, he's only over in it's actually 16.5 on Hard Rock right now at minus 120. So definitely go grab the 16.5. But he's only over in the 1 out of 3 games so far. His ERA is kind of ugly, but I'm a firm believer in the guy. I mean, I've liked his talent. He's a Philly guy, so I'm very familiar with his game, and I really like what the Rays did with his arsenal last year. I think he kind of gets back to his wagon ways. He has an ERA of 6.35, so obviously pretty damn bad, but expected ERA is really respectable, 4.08. So it indicates he's had some bad luck along the way. His whip, walks and hits per inning pitch is only 1.29, a little higher than a normal Eflin whip, but not really that bad for an ERA of 6 or greater. So just generally thinking we kind of see him come back to the norm here. There's no changes in his velocity. I think the guy's just getting warmed up. He was a wagon at home last year. He was over this line in 10 out of 18 at home last year, but 2 of the 3, he missed 2 out of 3 to start the year as he was getting his pitch count up. So he had 74 pitches in one and 67 pitches in the other. So I think and he was lifted after 5 of both of those games. So I don't want to shoe in that he should have hit both of those games as well, but kind of goes to show you his ability to go deep into games. And LA, this is a back-to-back start for him versus LA, which is not something I typically target, but I don't know. I'm just a big believer in him. If you kind of look around DraftKings and look at all of the LA props that they have, and the first 5 money line, and they have LA for over under 1.5 runs for the first 5 innings. You kind of you can kind of start to read the lines that the books are kind of anticipating a nice Eflin outing as well. And there's good reason for it. This offense outside of Trout hasn't really been good versus righties. 19th in average, 22nd in on-base percentage, 22nd in slugging, 17th in WRC plus, 23rd in ISO. They are a pretty heavy strikeout team. Eflin, you never have to worry about walks. So as long as he's pounding the zone, he should get plenty of strikes, getting good counts on these guys, and hopefully can retire them pretty quickly. So Eflin, it's now 16.5. So definitely want to go get that 16.5. It looks like minus 120 pretty much everywhere you look.
We got a comment here from Krusty K in the chat. Man, this show is way better when Brian is gone.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows it. It's we don't really have to hide from the fact. It just kind of is what it is.
If you like that comment, make sure you like and subscribe to the show. I'll do Brian's part right there.
Beautiful, beautifully done. All right, I'll pass it off to you for your next play.
All right, so staying with the strikeouts, we're going to move over to hitter strikeouts, so players not to strike out. This one killed me last night in his last at bat, but Luis Campusano, K's his last at bat. He was plus money. He's actually leading the league in K percent. He's, I guess, the new Luis Arias.
That's right.
6.9% of his at bats strikeouts. So
nice.
Getting him at minus 105, I will take that. Corbin Carroll plus 140, crazy number for him. He's only 7.3% strikeout going against the Cubs pitcher tonight. Is he a rookie or not?
Who's that? Sorry.
The guy pitching for the Cubs, Brown or whatever his name is.
Yeah. He's a rookie.
Yeah, I thought he was a rookie.
Brown.
And then Vinny Pasquantino, also minus 105, playing him straight. He is at 10% K rate, but he has a good matchup tonight against Fetty and the White Sox. And then I'm going to add Jeff McNeil and then parlay all 4 of them together. So that parlay is plus 1221. I didn't want to play McNeil solo because he's like minus 225, but he's another guy he's third at 7.4%. And then these are on, once again, I think they're on maybe Fanatics and Hard Rock, but usually DraftKings has the best odds for these. You can just click on the batter props and then scroll over to strikeouts. So, we got an update from Krusty, who's pitching for the White Sox.
Nastrini. Good prospect. He's like Hamilton. He just ripped guys apart strikeout wise. So I've been peeking at his line. The Royals are a little bit too stingy for me to grab a juiced 4-5. If anything, I might even half unit the 5-5 and just fuck around and find out. But Nastrini, he should be really interesting between him and Crotchet or whatever his name is. Maybe a decent 1-2 punch, maybe something to look forward to.
You could have hit the craziest bet on that dude the other day against the Reds. He had that market where you can pick like first inning specials, second inning specials on FanDuel, like 3 strikeouts. Dude struck out 3 in the first, 3 in the second, and also gave up 5 earned runs.
Yeah.
So
just insane.
I mean, those are both probably like plus 1,600 odds for the 3 strikeout things, and then still gave up 5 runs. So
I'd imagine Lodolo struck out the side once or twice as well. We have plenty more plays to get to. Before we do that, we are going to kick it over to Brad Thomas.
Hey guys, thank you for watching. Guess what? Friends don't let friends watch videos without smashing the like button. So be a friend and smash the like button and ring the bell. It'll notify you when we go live. Also, if you could, press that subscribe button. More subscribers, the more bets we can get out to all of you guys. And drop your favorite bet in the comments. Take care.
Lodolo under.
Somebody bet Lodolo under. That's classic. I definitely thought about betting Lodolo under, but thank you, Brad, for that. We appreciate that. While we were gone, Aaron asked if we had early win plays on DK. I've been looking at this all damn day, and I'm struggling today. I feel like the last 2 or 3 times they ran this promo, I just made my pick really easy and just kind of moved on with life. Today, for some reason, I'm having a harder time deciding, but I mean, just generally speaking, I would ideally target an away team since you're always going to be 3 outs ahead, or I guess 1/2 inning ahead, and then underdogs just because you get a promo, so you might as well kind of shoot for some value. But the 2 that kind of stuck out to me are the value's not terrific, but I thought about Pirates for sure. I like their matchup versus Hauser. It just kind of came down to Perez has been just body slammed by these Mets hitters, so I still might go with it, to be honest with you, but. That one at plus 105 got my attention because again they lead off the game in the top of the first against Hauser, so maybe they could just pop 2 real quick and then you could just win, which would be cool. The second one is the Texas Rangers over Detroit, but this has got to be a fucking trap. I mean Lorenzen obviously is kind of trash, but I don't know. This has to be a trap, right? This line is so funky to me to see them as underdogs to the Reese Olson Tigers. So. I don't know. It's kind of down in between Rangers and Pirates. I've even thought about just going Braves minus 118.
You think that Ranger lineup is good for like 6 runs? So
I thought so too. People forget Ryan's like 82. I am undefeated, but it's like 2-0 or 3-0. So I'll take it. All my bets this month, never been up so many units. That's awesome. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate that. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. I probably will run Pirates. I'll make it official after this game. Padres came, they kind of stuck out at minus 102, but I think today's kind of the hardest day to decide that we've had this promo so far. But anyway, I guess I'll say Pirates are my main lean, and then we can kind of move on to my next play. So something while I was taking a break on RBIs, I started running some first 5 parlays. And I think it's kind of cool because in the past you could go under first 5 on FanDuel and you had to pick from 4 FanDuel selected options, basically like with a spread and a total run parlay, basically like a built-in parlay. But now under same game parlay, we can build our own. So it's kind of cool. And we've had a lot of success with them so far. So like just generally, I first look at runs and see if I find an edge on over or under runs. And then I just back the team with +0.5 or +2.5 with the team that I like for runs a little bit more. So for this specific play, I went with the Rangers and Tigers game, the trappy game that I was feeling earlier. And I went with first 5 innings over 3.5 total runs. And then I parlayed that with Texas Rangers +2.5 first 5 innings alternate run line. So should be up on the screen. So it's a little easier to read that than me, I guess, read that out. What's that? Oh, okay. Sorry, I called out tone there, but it will be up on the screen here shortly, in case it's not that easy to understand what the hell I'm actually saying out loud. But nonetheless, we get Michael Lorenzen, and he makes his Texas debut tonight. He actually goes against the team that he pitched half of the year for last year, against the Tigers, but he's not very good. I got to see it firsthand. He got traded over to the Phillies. And despite throwing a no-hitter, he still had a 5.51 ERA and 11 appearances with us, to kind of just show you how bad he really was in the rest of the non-no-hitter games. In 3 minor league appearances for his rehab assignment, he had a 6.35 ERA. So I'm sure he kind of used this as like a pseudo spring training. So I don't really swear by these numbers. I'm sure he was kind of tinkering with some stuff, but I'd certainly rather him, struggle than him have like a 1.18 ERA in the rehab assignment. So I don't know. I do like the Tigers to get 1, 2, 3, 4 runs against him. And then more importantly, I lean more Rangers here. I am actually a fan of Reese Olson's talent. I think he could be a solid pitcher, but expected ERA of 4.73 last year. It's even way up in the early stages of this year. It's 6.39. I think that the Rangers can definitely tag him for some runs here. I think both teams score runs, and I like the Rangers a little bit more. And we just get a 2-run buffer with that +2.5. So I have a hard time imagining that the Tigers outscore them by 3 runs in the first 5 innings. If they do, obviously that would suck. But just generally really like these plays, and this is something that I'll be targeting more in the future. Hit my first one in the morning game earlier today, so that was a fun start to the day. So let's see if we can go 2-0 on these.
Yeah, I like the creativity with this. It seems to have a pretty good success correlation rate with these so far.
I think it's 4-1 so far out of the 5. The one that I missed, Dean Kramer was spotted a 3-0 lead, a 4-1 lead, and then a 5-4 lead. Blew all 3 of them. So,
and then the Brewers managed to blow the game. So, yeah.
What's that?
And then the Brewers still managed to lose that game, I think. So.
And that's some shit. Yeah. So, definitely like these plays. Something I'll probably have most of these shows. So, but yeah, that's my one for the day.
All right, and because I like torture, I'm going to go back to the no home run plays.
There you go.
So was it last week where we had the Austin Riley 2 weeks ago? I
think it was 2 weeks ago. The pain, I'm just grading that off of the pain that I still feel in my heart. It's a little bit more numb than it used to be. So it has to be 2-week-old pain.
That was a plus. That was a plus. I think like 8,700.
Yeah,
well,
we had definitely 80-1 or something.
We had one 2 days ago that the Brewers game cashed, and then comes down to the Mets game. Well, decided to have a polar bear home run in the top of the 9th to ruin the plus 17,000. So these are close. One of these is going to hit tonight. So the first grouping I have, no home runs. You can find this in the hits and runs tab. I think New York does not have it anymore for some reason. Not sure. Somebody told me after that Braves-Mets game, it hasn't been back up since. So I have Rockies, Phillies, Giants, Marlins, and Pirates, Mets for the first combo. These are obviously long shots, so do not put anything crazy on these. You can play them straight if you want. I would round robin by 2 to get the value out of that. And then the second grouping I have is Padres, Brewers, Royals, White Sox, and Reds, Mariners. Same thing, round robin by 2 if you want to play the straights on some of those that you like.
Yeah, I'm going to tail. God damn it.
In the chat here, no home run play this morning, 0-0 through 6. Yeah, I was watching that, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. If there's no home run in this game, then I'm going to miss out on the one. But I think there was one in like the 8th or 7th, so didn't feel as bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, these plays are crazy. You'll never find somebody more creative than Nick with these damn plays. This one is just insane, but
Yeah, but it's
they're
also
fun
all
as
of them
hell to
involve
sweat.
like some sort of just pain
Yes.
watching these. Like
Yeah.
the first
You will-
strikeout, the no strikeouts, the RBIs, the no home runs. It's never like, hey, we just need got to get one hit or something.
Yeah, I think Nick's
Why make it
choice
easy?
in MLB bets is like a silent cry for help or something because he
Yeah.
just adores the pain that some of these props give him. That's awesome. I have an RBI stack. I'll call it a mini stack since I only took 2 guys. I'll go ahead and go to that one real quick. That game starts in about an hour. So I went with the Orioles RBI stack. I went Ryan Mountcastle and then Kowser, who is just on fucking fire right now. I do like O'Hearn in that 3-hole, but the problem, me and Nick were briefly mentioning it before the show, but like with the Orioles, they have such a heavy platoon, and pretty much they start a guy based off right or left, and then they put him in a great spot in the lineup. They so often pinch hit or pinch run, and they only see 2 or 3 at bats, especially if the starting pitcher is chased early. Then your bet could be dead by like the 5th or 6th inning. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, Nick, did you want to answer this question real quick? Sorry.
Yeah, Joshua had a question here about if your unit is 15, what do you throw on the round robin? I would throw like $1 or $1.50 or something on the round robin. The payout on these is pretty crazy, so you don't have to put much on it. And I would definitely not risk a lot on these because they're so. I mean, like we've had 2 in the 8th inning, 1 in the 9th inning get busted, so definitely a sweat.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But yeah, going back over to the Orioles, I really like the odds here. So that I got Mountcastle for 2 and for 3. I take 2 for 0.35 units. I take 3 for 0.15 units. We have a 75-degree night in Baltimore. It's a nice matchup. Varland got cooked last year at a 4.63 ERA. His expected ERA was like right on par with that at 4.58. And so far this year, he's just been hammered. xERA is over 7. His ERA is 9.00. He's 26th percentile in hard hit percentage. He's 25th percentile in barrel rate. And guess what? He's just matching up against guys that cannot stop barreling these baseballs. Mountcastle 79th percentile in barrel rate. Kowser's 96th percentile in barrel rate. Both guys' exit velocities, is off the charts. So I really like these guys just to make hard contact versus a pitcher that gives up hard contact, which with RBIs, I mean, I try not to overthink it, but so much. You got to have the chances, and I really like the 3 guys ahead of them to set them up for success. Hopefully, I think they should definitely have chances with Varland on the mound. He has a high whip, so he's got those awesome 3 batters in front of him, or in front of them that should hopefully give them chances. And then they're just slugging the shit out of the ball. So hopefully we get to see a long ball for a 3-run shot or something like that out of Mountcastle or Kowser.
I think Varland gets my early nomination. I loved watching him last year too, but that dude has absolute disgusting stuff, but still
He
gets
does.
shelled. Like
Yes,
he's like
definitely.
98, good slider, but he's always like 2-0, 3-1 pitching and then
Yep.
gets hammered after he walks 2 guys. Yeah.
Just can't stay out of his own way.
No, he really can't. All right, I have RBI plays in the works here. I was gonna pick your brain on which of these you like better. So we have Ross Stripling against the Cardinals. I was looking at Cardinals hitters, probably Goldschmidt, Arenado, Gorman. Or the other one I was looking at is Montas good? Like, is he all of a sudden a good pitcher for the Reds, or what is his deal?
Serviceable. I'll call him serviceable.
Serviceable.
That's what kind of pitcher he is to me.
Because I was looking for him. I was looking at Polanco, Haniger, and France.
Yeah, I mean
So
both have good histories. It's
right.
actually really funny. I'm going to get to a Ross Stripling play, and I have an over of some sort with him, but that is not because I don't think he's going to give up runs. I don't know if that made any sense. I think he gives up plenty of runs, but I'll get more into that. But Arenado and Goldschmidt both have really good numbers against him. He just he's just a meatball thrower out there. So I really like Cardinals. Both ballparks are not the greatest options technically,
Right.
but I think I do lean more kind of Cardinals here. I'd probably go Cardinals.
Stripling's just more. Yeah, he's more of a.
Stripling. Sorry.
he's more of a pitch to contact type guy, so he could get
Yeah.
by with some quick innings, or he could give up some runs. So yeah,
It's so funny to say that that's my lean because I have my next play is
go
best
for it.
game
Go
to
for
a
it.
certain degree. But yeah, I'll say Cardinals is my RBI lean. And in the funniest way, I'm going to go ahead and segue that right into me saying Ross Stripling over 16.5 outs, minus 105 pretty much everywhere is my next play. Now, I never really want to back the A's. I never really want to back Ross Stripling, but I found that there was like oddly a lot to like here. He's over in back-to-back starts. He had a really good outing. He had a 7-inning, 1-run something outing versus the Red Sox 2 games ago, and then last game is the important one for me. He got fucking hammered. 11 hits, 3 walks, 6 earned, still went 6 innings. Like, why did they bring this guy in if 31-year-old, he sucked last year? Why
He's
bring
got
him
the
in if he's not
Severino
there?
leech where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's just there to eat innings. The A's haven't had a day off in 7 days. Last Monday was their last day off, so this is their 7th straight game. They don't have a day off till Thursday. They had a pretty tight series versus Washington this weekend. They collectively used 12 relievers. It's kind of cheating, but I'll just go ahead and stick with it. 12 relievers over the course of that series, and then including they used a lot of their key guys yesterday, including Miller out the pen. So why is he there if he's not there to eat innings? So and I think last start is the greatest example of that, where they just hung him out to dry. They don't give a shit. And the 11 hits, 3 walks, 6 earned, and still going 6 is kind of all I needed to see here. And then he gets a Cards team. Although I like I said, I do kind of like them for RBIs, but they don't really walk a whole lot. They do strike out a lot technically, but I'm not a huge believer in that. The number kind of keeps going down slowly, but they're a lower team in WRC plus. They have a 291 on base percentage, so like he's going to get shelled, but he's also going to get a lot of quick outs here, I think. So he can give up his 5 earned and still get these 17 outs, in my opinion.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I like the over here, considering a tired pen, 7th straight game, and then just should have a hell of a leash. He threw 90-something, 97 pitches last game, so no reason to rip him out early. I mean, just going to waste young guy arms. Might as well just let your 31-year-old eat innings.
Right. The other thing with him is like not being a strikeout guy and pitching to contact. You can give up runs and still have a mix in a 10 or 11 pitch inning in there, which kind of gives you that extra inning at the end as far as pitch count.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, I actually have one more play. Do you have any left?
I'm done. No, I'm done. That was my last.
Okay. There's a 42% boost on DraftKings that I needed to be used. So I went ahead my first leg. Actually, I'll start with you have to make this a same game parlay, but you could do the same game parlay X as DraftKings refers to it as. I don't often make a same game parlay that's this uncorrelated. It's kind of funky the way I did this, but I do have reasoning. My main look was Aaron Nola hits allowed, but I needed to make a same game parlay somewhere. But anyway, I want Nola hits to be kind of like the main focus here. He should go really deep into this game. He's another guy with a fairly unlimited leash. It's a Rockies offense that really isn't as bad as it's made out to be. 259 average versus right-handed pitching is actually 8th in the league. So I don't think 5 hits here is going to be a problem with the guy he has an 18.5 outs line. He probably doesn't go at 7, but he pitches into the 6th or into the 7th almost every start. I think they can collect 5 hits over the course of the time. However, I don't really like them to score, but so much away from home for so many years now. The Rockies have really struggled to put runs on the board. So I did non-correlate and went over to the Philly side because I've been thinking about backing them to score over 5.5 all day. I couldn't quite commit, but if you walk that down to 3.5, I feel pretty good. I mean, they got Cal Quantrill. I actually don't know how to say his name, and I just realized that on air. Cal Quantrill or whatever his name is, who was, I think, one of the worst pitchers in the entire league. So
Not serviceable.
Yeah, he's not serviceable. He's bad. So I think the Phillies can score 4 here fairly easily. Like I said, I know it's uncorrelated and kind of ugly, but I do like both of these legs. Now I parlayed these with our serviceable friend Frankie Montas. I think it's a generous line to listen to 2.5 here. 5.9% walk rate this year, which is 74th percentile. He's never really been a big walk guy. 7.8% for his entire career. He gets the Mariners, who are 24th in walk rate. So I don't know. The 2.5 line kind of felt like a gift, and certainly has the juice to kind of show that. So I went Frankie Montas under 2.5 outs, and then Ben Brown, who we mentioned earlier, the rookie for the Cubs. I think we're going to see some crazy control issues kind of shed light over the course of this year as his pitch count continues to rise. I think he had 74 pitches last game, so I think we should see him get closer into the 80s. He has 4 walks in 10.1 innings so far. That's not terrible. But last year, this man had 57 walks in 92 and 2/3 innings.
Not
That's
ideal.
fucking crazy, dude. 57 walks in 92 and 2/3. So he has a juiced over 1.5 despite only having 2 walks in one of his 3 starts. But it's really just been a matter of getting his pitch count up. I think he threw 40 pitches in one start. And I don't remember what he had in the second start and then worked up into the 70s. So as we see this guy throw 80 pitches, 2 walks should not be a problem. I think this is a 2.5 walk line kind of guy when he gets a full workload, which we could see tonight. So, but yeah, I think altogether it's plus 640 something. You see it on the screen. I don't remember what it is. Sorry. But I really like this play, and I went with a half unit on that. I don't do very many parlays, but I need 646. Thanks, Tone. I needed to get a little parlay action in. Oh, Sayuki. Oh my goodness, Suzuki on the DL. That sucks. Irrelevant, but that sucks. I just got a notification. It is
Parlay time?
It is. It's definitely parlay time. Now we are kind of snuck
Undefeated in MLB, by the way.
Undefeated in MLB, by the way. How about that? You can't beat that.
No.
We kind of hinted towards our first leg as long as you don't have any rebuttals, which I can't imagine you do, with Kyle Harrison 5+.
I'm good with that.
Okay. I have the 1 unit wrist on Cabrera. It's personally enough for me. I wouldn't mind kind of skipping over him and not including him in this parlay.
That's fine.
I don't want to put too much into one guy, but one thing that stuck out to me before I pass it over to you for some leans is the Rays first 5 money line. I really like it. We could do the minus 184 and just get the straight up money line. I also like the run line, the minus a half at minus 138. I think Eflin shoves tonight. I don't
think the Angels are good, and I don't think Sandoval's good. So I like that. And the Rays guys hit him pretty well too. So
for sure,
I like that.
Do you want to do minus a half and get the better odds, or would you rather just do first 5 money line?
Half. What does minus a half get us to?
It gets us to 160. So we got a little work to do after that. But yeah, we're probably better off doing that than the first 5 money line. Did you have any leans that have stuck out to you recently?
I'm trying to think here. What else we got?
If you guys want to extend it another day, we could choose to put an NBA play too.
It's true. This is true. We could do NBA.
We could, but we're undefeated with strictly baseball is the issue.
Also true.
Yeah, that is very true.
Have we hit one of these with an NBA play? I think we've only hit them with football and baseball.
Damn, is that a fact?
That might be.
Dang, that's crazy. I really like my man George Kirby to start racking up some Ks. We could 6 value kind of sucks, but I don't mind him for 7 tonight unless you had any rebuttals against that.
Not against the Reds.
Yeah, I think he carves them up. He's had a rough start, but he's one of those guys that I haven't lost any faith. Kind of just like Eflin. I think this is his get right start here. So him for 7 is minus 124. That gets us to near plus 400. So 2 more legs should do it.
Yeah. Do you like anything in that the Rangers game? Did you want to do something in that?
Let's see here. I mean, I like the over for one.
I like the over as well.
Yeah, works for me. I say we could rock with. We could do first 5 over or full game over.
What is 5 at?
It's at minus 138 for the 4.5.
I guess it comes down to do you think the runs come off Lorenzen and Olsen or the bullpen?
I have a pretty good amount of respect for at least Detroit's bullpen.
Right.
Rangers is fairly decent as well. So I would lean first 5 total.
I do too. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're at plus 730 or so. So 1 more leg should get us there. Any last things that are really piquing your interest here?
Krusty's saying White Sox minus 1.5.
I don't know about that.
Krusty, my Brewers are doing just fine in this World Series bet, so you need your White Sox to step it up here.
Texas team total. That is an option. I don't know if we could parlay the two of them. I wonder. We might be able to. Because I do like Texas to score here.
We should be able to. It does have the SGP label on it.
You know what's crazy is if we did that, if we do the first 5 over 4.5 and do Texas Rangers over 3.5 runs for the full game, that gets our parlay to 10-1.
Oh, I love that.
That's kind of crazy.
I didn't think it would jump that high.
Me neither. That just jumped from 7:30 to 10. So I'm happy.
If we do which play?
If you add in Texas Rangers over 3.5 runs to the already over 4.5 first 5 runs, it gets us to 10-14. There is also a boost tonight if you're interested in using that. I actually probably will use my boost on this. I didn't really have anything planned for this. So if you boost it, it gets to 13-19. I'm going to go ahead and run back through it. Nick, are you good here? Did you want to change anything?
I'm down with that for sure.
My app is telling me that we can't combine these selections. What did I enter wrong?
All right, so we have Texas Rangers in Detroit. So you got to stay under the same game parlay tab. Over 4.5 runs in the first 5 alternate total runs. And then you can scroll down and you can parlay.
Oh, you did
Texas
alternate
Rangers.
total runs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's under the same game parlay tab as well instead of the. Ooh, something just jumped. Oh, Texas Rangers, you fuckers. Texas Rangers just jumped on us to 4.5, but there's still an alt line that we could use anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We should still be fine. It gets us to plus 993 now instead, but that's okay. But yeah, I'll run back through this. First 5 inning alternate total runs over 4.5 for the Rangers Tigers. And then we also parlayed that with Texas Rangers over 3.5 alt total runs.
Oh, it jumped to 4.5 for me. Oh no, alt total runs.
Yeah, you can still do the alt. And then Kyle Harrison of the San Francisco Giants, 5+ strikeouts. We went Tampa Bay first 5 innings run line minus 0.5. And then we finalized this with George Kirby over 6.5 strikeouts, which is minus 124. The parlay with the boost is 1291. Without the boost is 993.
Boosting it.
As am I. Tone, did you miss there?
I will get that boost. Yeah, let me just run through it one more time, just so when I put it up, everyone for sure can get it. We got Rangers, Tigers over 4.5 first 5 total runs. Rangers over 3.5 total runs. Kyle Harrison 5 strikeouts. Tampa Bay Rays minus 0.5 first 5 run line.
Yep.
And George Kirby 7 strikeouts.
You got it.
My odds are showing 989 without a boost.
You might have done Kirby 7+ strikeouts instead of over 6.5.
I did. So change it to over 6.5. Make sure you do that.
Yeah, I think it's 1 cent better or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was 24 versus 25, I think.
Yeah. I think that's a hell of a show. We got a lot of plays out. So we can run back through these. Nick, if you want to go ahead and start your recap, and then we can hop out of here and go watch some baseball.
Absolutely. So I will start with the lone basketball play. First quarter, LeBron James assist ladder on DraftKings for tomorrow's game, starting at 2.5, going to 5, and once again on DraftKings, over 2.5 plus 130, 4+ plus 310, 5+ plus 800. And then I laddered Kyle Harrison strikeouts on FanDuel 6 through 8. If you want, you can take the PPD ladder. If you want, you can get 4 and a win for plus money and go from there. And then the first strikeout recorded. This is on DraftKings. Pitcher props, head-to-head market, H2H tab is on there. Louis Varland, Michael Lorenzen, and Martin Perez to record first strikeout. Round robin that by 2. Players to not strike out. This is once again on DraftKings, batter props, strikeout tab. Solo plays of Luis Campusano, Vinny Pasquantino, and Corbin Carroll, and then adding Jeff McNeil with those 3 to parlay, which is plus 1221.
Nice.
And then finally 2 no home run plays just for a little extra torture to end the night.
There you
So
go.
the first group is the Rockies Phillies game with the Giants Marlins game and the Pirates Mets game. That's for the first group, and you can round robin that by 2, play straights if you like the certain game. And then the second grouping is the Padres Brewers game, Royals White Sox game, Reds Mariners game, and you can find those under the hits runs tab for each game. Or if you go to the MLB tab and just search no home run, you can sort through all of them. And then still looking at RBIs. So if you're in the Discord, I will post some sort of RBI stack later tonight.
Sounds like a plan. All right. I'll start with my NBA play as well. I went D'Angelo Russell over 16.5 points. I do think there's some minus 115s floating around somewhere, but make sure you shop that. I got minus 120 on FanDuel. Going over to MLB, Zach Eflin, I had him over 17.5. That's actually dropped 1 out, so definitely make sure you go and find a 16.5 outline for Zach Eflin. Then I went Edward Cabrera, 6+ strikeouts or over the 5.5. Doesn't really matter. He's plus odds pretty much everywhere, plus 115 range. I had a first 5 parlay where I parlayed Texas and Detroit to score over 3.5 total runs in the first 5 innings. And I also parlayed that with Texas plus 2.5 in the first 5. Then I went with Ross Stripling outs, which is my funniest play of the night, I think. Over 16.5 outs for my man Ross up there in Oakland. I have an Orioles RBI plays. I went with Ryan Mountcastle for 2 and for 3 RBIs. I bet them individually, not parlayed. And then Kowser as well in their 5-hole for 2 and for 3. Then I finished off with a parlay. I went Ben Brown over 1.5 walks, Frankie Montas under 2.5 walks, and then added like a little same game parlay action with Aaron Nola 5 hits allowed, parlayed with the Phillies to score over 3.5 runs in that game, which is 646. We do have a couple things ahead this week. Cool news that we're actually probably just breaking for the very first time. Ryan and Brian Talk Sports plus Nick Larson is not only a Monday show now, that we'll do this every Monday and Thursday now at 5 p.m. So we have 2 shows a week. Also, Finesse the Books and Locktopus have a show tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. And Brian and Brad have a new show. I believe it started last week at 12 p.m. on Thursday. So GoldBoys Network is loaded with action pretty much all week long. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss anything. We appreciate you guys for watching. We appreciate Odds Checkers and Sleeper Picks for sponsoring, and we will see you on Thursday.